Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am not the most experienced lapidary artist in the world. I'm not even close, okay? I have, however, done my fair share of cutting and polishing of flat cuts. And I feel like I've learned some stuff. I've done wet, work on the flat lap, work on the high-speed sander. I've tried a bunch of different things, and I feel like I've learned some stuff, and I want to do a little bit of a test today, okay? I have had my high-tech diamond trim saw for several years now. I have also had my flat lap for several years now. And I feel pretty confident in these two machines. I like them a lot. I have also had my Richardson's Ranch high-speed sander and my slow-speed cerium oxide wheel for a while now. And it's kind of good to make a comparison between things and try different stuff. That's kind of what I like to do in the lapidary game, is try things. So, right here we have a flat lap disc, an electroplated diamond disc. And this spins on the flat lap. This is 80 grit, and this costs $80. Right here I have another acrylic-backed disc, except this has a silicon carbide disc, 80 grit. I think it's important to maybe talk about grit real quick. Not all things are created equal, and grit is a form of measurement. So, doesn't matter if it's diamond or silicon carbide, aluminum, oxide, different things. It's basically the 80, and the grit is a sieve and what will fall through that sieve, like that screen. So 80 grit diamond, 80 grit silicon carbide are not created equal, even though they have the same number. So this costs 80 bucks. One of these discs right here, not the backer, but the actual disc, depending on the bulk that you buy it in, is going to be, for me, I bought this and it costs 64 cents. So I could buy 125-ish of these discs for one of these. I run these discs on the Richardson sander. That's why it's a little bit smaller. We have an 8-inch disc, and here we have a 7-inch disc. So what I want to do today is I want to take this right here. This is it's from the Dugway geode beds, but they're not actually geodes that come from there. They're thunder eggs based upon the fact that it comes from rhyolite. It is a Dugway thunder egg. This might have a void in it. We're going to take this over to the trim saw real quick, and we are going to cut this in that orientation, which means I'm going to be doing the whole roll technique on the blade and kind of in turn making about as rough of a surface on a cut as possible next to a tile saw. And then we're going to try the electroplated diamond and see what the finish looks like. And we're going to try the silicon carbide and see what that finish looks like and go from there. Because the initial stages that you get all of your scratches out and you keep going up matters the most, right? Making sure that you get those deep scratches out from like the saw, from 80 grit going to 180, 220. As you progress up, the stages, it matters less, right? Like if you're going from a 3,000 to a 6,000 grit, having a couple of 3,000 grit scratches in there when you move up to 6,000, then cerium oxide matters a lot less. They're less pronounced, therefore reflect less light back up into your eye, and they're just less noticeable. So, enough talking. Let's get cutting. Very nice. Very, very nice. So you saw me cut this guy right here, this Dugway Thunder Egg, all right? And, you know, it's typical where you have like a little piece right here that like the saw kind of like it broke off. So this is good. This is an accurate representation of some of the cuts that you might make yourself. I also cut another one from Dugway, and you can see we have like a little, where is it at? We have like a little piece right here, which kind of stands out. It's like that little notch standing up. We'll grind that off. And because I wanted something more solid to kind of show, right? So we have this like small but low quality Thunder Egg from, I believe, McDermott. And, you know, they look acceptable under the shop light. When you take them out into the sun, however, you can start to see some of the scratches that came from the cutting process. And of course, when you get them wet, they look fabulous, right? Because that kind of mimics what a potential high polish would look like. So what I think we're going to do is we are going to take one of each half, and we're going to grind it on the silicon carbide, and then the other half of that same one, so like this one will get silicon carbide, this one will get diamond, and I will check them as we go. We will time it, right? So we can kind of get a little bit of a baseline. You know, when I see consistent scratches, right, on the diamond and the silicon carbide, and then we'll compare them visually as well, time and visual. I think that'll be the way to do this, and we'll just see how it looks. We're going to start with the silicon carbide. We're going to do, this one will be stone 1. Done with the silicon carbide, and we're going to be switching over to the diamond. Everything is clean and dry now. Let's head over to the bench. We're going to look at how long each stone with each disc took, and look at them side by side and see if we can maybe come up with any conclusions based upon what we see. On the left-hand side, we have the times and the stones that were done on the diamond disc. On the right-hand side, we have the carbide, the silicon carbide, and the stones that we did there. You will see the outlier, which is the last stone on the carbide, which the disc tore, and I just let the timer run, and I went and found another one, and kept on doing it. So that is a factor here. Paper discs are not the most durable thing, I guess. Well, so stone number 1, the diamond and the carbide. Well, I guess, you know what, let's take some photos of these, and we'll do a photo comparison with the same orientation, and we can kind of see, as we start to look at these, some distinctive differences. Now, this is, of course, my judgment. I feel comfortable with this being the level and time that I would be comfortable taking them up to 180 grit, which would be the next stage for me. And the little Thunder Egg from McDermott is kind of meh, you know, but it's not the best, and it will probably never take a polish. And continuing on, when we look at the Dugway Thunder Eggs, we can kind of start to see that we have a more finished appearance at 80 grit with silicon carbide versus the diamond. And you can kind of see that in the photos. The ones on the right being with the silicon carbide has a more, like, I guess, like, polished brown appearance to it. And even kind of like rocking them in the light in the shop, right? So there, here we are, the silicon, and then this one, the diamond. Try to keep that level. Yeah, so obviously I would say that this is a higher polish. Now, I think there's a number of reasons for that. As you use the silicon carbide, it does break down, and it does kind of become a higher grit, almost. So I think this one as well, I'm not super keen on taking this up to the next polish, but similarly, right, we got a better finish in comparable times. I would say these times are comparable. Like, I'm not going to cry over 30 seconds here on this. I'm not going to, maybe it took me 2 minutes, right? So if we're subtract 2 minutes, we're at like 6 minutes and 45 seconds, 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so about 2 minutes longer, right? Granted, there was like a big little chunk on this that had to get off. So if we're within a couple of minutes, I'm not a big hang up. But man, that is quite the difference for moving on to the next stage. My phone kind of cut out on me there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take this one up to a full polish, and we'll look at it fully polished up. The other one's not really being worth the time. So hold on, I'm going to get right to it. I did finish polishing up that one. Before we look at this though, I was kind of starting to think about potential other benefits to running a silicon carbide disc on the high-tech flat lap or a similar flat lap, and that would be primarily for people with tile saws, I think, because you can get like a 36 grit, super aggressive silicon carbide disc for, you know, like 50 cents, right? And when you mess up on that tile saw and you gouge a flat cut, and you're like, the amount of time it would take to get those deep gouges out with a diamond, electroplated diamond disc, is going to be a long time. Running the 36 grit silicon carbide can really just like chew that material flat. Might be a better option. I might have to try that in the future. I think it'd be kind of fun. So here's where we're at here with this guy. I think it came out very, very nice. People on their motorcycles. Very, very nice. Side note, I live near a red light, and people have this like desire to speed up to go to the red light. It blows my mind. But yeah, overall, happy with this. You know, I learned some stuff. I have this beautiful polished piece now, and yeah, that. All right, everybody. For those of you not subscribed, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, I have a lot of other lapidary, rockhounding, geology, all kinds of great content up here. I believe I'm at or about 400 videos. So that is a lot of rockhounding and lapidary content for you to go consume. Go watch that stuff. And we'll leave this one here, and I will catch you on the next video.